Hey, fourth grade. Here we are again learning lesson 72, and we're finding information to solve problems. We know that problem solving is a big frustration for many of us, but yet it's like going on a hunt. We are looking for clues to solve a problem. And what's really fun is that we get to use some of the fun things that we have, like highlighters when we use paper. Or today, because we're using these clear plastic sheet holders, we get to use some Expo markers to wipe on and use these things. So today, the first thing that we need to do is we need to read. And we need to read very carefully. And then we need to read our questions and look for things that might help us solve those problems and use some colors to help us find them. So let's begin. The first thing that we're going to do is read what is happening. The school elections were held on Friday, February 2nd. We're right there. We notice that we need a calendar. We need to look at the dates that they're talking about. And so we see here's a calendar of February, Friday the 2nd. Which the elections were held on, and I already have that marked. Tiana, Lily, and Tarek ran for president. Lily received 146 votes, and Tiana received 117 votes. Tarek received 35 more votes than Tiana. So let's make some markings. School elections were held on Friday, February 2nd. We put that up on our date board. Then we have these three people that ran, Tiana, Lily, and Tarek. Tiana, Lily, Tarek ran for president. Lily received 146 votes. Tiana received 117 votes. And Tarek received 35 more votes than Tiana. Remember, more tells us we need to add, so we're going to put a plus sign next to that to help us remember. Now let's go over our questions that we need to answer. How many votes did Tarek receive? Tarek received 35 more votes than Tiana. So we need to find out how many Tiana received and add 35 to that. Tiana received 117 votes, so we're going to put 117 plus 35 more. So we're going to add that. 7 plus 5 is 12. We put the 2 down here because it's in the ones, and the 1 up here because it's in the tens. 3 plus 1 is 5, and 1 plus nothing is 1 in the hundreds. And it says, how many votes did Tarek receive? He received 152 votes. Make sure that you add votes. Letter B, who received the most votes? Remember, most is the word we're looking at here. And most tells us the largest amount, the biggest number. So let's look. We have 146 votes for Lily, 117 votes for Tiana, and 152 votes for Tarek. That's easy for a fourth grader. Who received the most votes? Well, it's who, not how many. Who was it? It was Tarek. And so we write Tarek's name down here. Finally, last question. Speeches were given on the Tuesday before elections. When were they given? The Tuesday before elections. What was the date on which the speeches were given? Not the election, which is what we have marked, but the Tuesday before. So we can move our little marker here. I have to be careful because this thing will fall off. To Thursday, Wednesday, Tuesday. And it says Tuesday, February 3rd. So our answer is to what was the date on which the speeches were given? Tuesday, February 3rd. And that didn't seem so hard, did it? Let's try one more just to make sure that we have this. And this is a little bit different, but we're going to use a few different items as well. So let's look at this question, this section right here, story. Alyssa collects keychains from different states she has visited and displays them on a pegboard. Nebraska, Ohio, Texas, Maine, and Florida. So I have some fun little magnets that have the first letter in each of those states. Nebraska, Ohio, Texas, Maine, and Florida. Right up there. And then it says, since Alyssa lives in Nebraska, so Alyssa lives here, and her grandma lives in Ohio, she always keeps Nebraska and Ohio keychains on the first two pegs. Always. So these two never change. How many different ways can Alyssa arrange the keychains in one row? Well, let's try it out. They want to know how many, but we have to try all the different ways, right? So let's write this way down. This is one of them. Nebraska, Ohio, Texas, Maine, Florida. Now, let's rearrange these. Let's leave Texas here and just switch Florida and Maine. Now we have Nebraska, Ohio, Texas, Florida, and Maine. Now let's move everybody over. We'll put Texas last. And we have Nebraska, Ohio, Florida, Maine, Texas. Let's try these two, the end ones. Now we have Nebraska, Ohio, Florida, Texas, Maine. Let's move Florida to the end and move Texas into third place. And we have, I'm running out of room here, Nebraska, Ohio, Texas, Maine, and Florida. And one more, we have to switch these two around. And we have Nebraska, Ohio, Texas, Florida, and Maine. But this was not the question. We did not answer the question yet. The question was, how many different ways can Alyssa arrange the keys in one row? The question is, how many? That's a number. So let's count how many. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 different ways. That was kind of fun. Now it's your turn, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like you to do the lesson practice of A, B, C, and D, which is on page 463 in lesson 72. Have a great day, guys. See you tomorrow.